And let's talk about these ghost towns. My wife and I and my daughter, until she went to college here, she's now studying at Beijing Normal University. But when the three of us were living in Beijing, we moved into a ghost town. The manholes were sticking up out of the roadbed by, a half a foot. Nothing was open. We were one of the very first people to move in. There were 2 or 3 restaurants, 1 bank, a couple of pharmacies, some hairdressers. Of course, these are all, other than the bank, they were all private owned. There was no stop signs. There was no trees on the sidewalk. It was literally a ghost town. And when we left 3.5 years later, that place was hopping. Pizza parlor and hardware stores, and that is what usually happens. The Chinese have done extensive analyses of these cities, and they take a 20-year approach to these cities. They give these cities 20 years to develop. And the ones that you hear about are Mongolia. There's one outside of Shanghai. There's about 5 or 6 that the Western press just slobbers over and, obsesses over. Yes, there are a few turkeys out there. Yeah, there are. But, New York has thousands and thousands of people living or homeless on the streets and has thousands and thousands of empty apartments that no one's living in. It's not just a Chinese problem. It's a problem all over the world. I grew up in Oklahoma. There's ghost towns all over, abandoned all over the Great Plains and the Rust Belt. Literally towns that are boarded up and no longer exist. And the West works very, very hard to discredit China because it is not a doormat for NATO and Western Empire. And so they spend a lot of ink and a lot of megabytes in the media, TV and radio, doing everything they can to portray the China as in a negative light, because it does fight against Western Empire. And so I can say I lived in a ghost town and I saw it actually blossom. And when we left, there were flower pots on the corners and tree-lined streets.